Darkness. It was spreading. An unnatural power was seeping through the galaxy and beyond. The gods were disturbed. Their power was fading. The faith in them was dwindling as life continued to flourish. As the planets grew, so did its people, and their inhabitants multiplied. Evolution was a natural part of things. It was inevitable. Just as the gods had made it, the galaxies were created for life to flourish. The gods were now the watchers and creators only. No planet or life force was the same. They were all created differently, just as planned. Beliefs now differed so wildly, science had muddied the waters. As the multiple worlds' minds and beliefs evolved, the gods began to lose control as the life they created just kept growing. The gods needed an equilibrium. They needed a vessel to tame things and to bring things back to the light. They needed a vessel to vanquish the darkness and bring back the light and faith back to the gods. They needed a warrior of the light. The planet Harmony, Orion's resting place. The most peaceful, magnificent, and tranquil planet, somewhere in the cluster network within the belt sector. Donna, king of Harmony, wakes up suddenly. Another awful and haunting night vision. Too many now of late. How many more times would he be haunted by the visions? But this one was just too real. The prophecy and war were upon them. He knew it for certain now. The darkness was drawing in. Maybe the curse had been lifted, and the veil of protection was wavering. It was now inevitable. Earth. A clear, crisp night. The sky cloudless and dark, free from the glow of the nearby city lights. Tonight was the perfect night for stargazing. The night was still, nothing but peace and quiet. Perfect. From his battered, weather-worn but comfy deck chair, the old man sat and watched the skies. He was in his element with his binoculars around his neck, nestling on his chest, his telescope erect in front of him and trained on the night sky. Night after night, weather permitting, he sat here religiously, his rusty old VW camper van permanently camped behind him for shelter and equipped with the basic essential amenities, the means to make a hot cup of tea only a few steps away. This was his duty and pleasure, his task and responsibility. Tirelessly, he watched the night skies as his job and deep passion. The stars and the planets comforted him. This was no chore. The old man carried out his duty and responsibility with pride. He was chosen for this. His bloodline bore the responsibility with great pride, for his bloodline was truly blessed. Placed on his knee was an old but extremely well looked after leather-bound book. This was no ordinary book, for this was a diary, a journal, and a historic document, the key to his family's lineage. This secret diary passed on from generation to generation and was entrusted to the elder of the family. What the old man cradled on his knee, whilst placing a gentle hand upon it, was a legacy. For this was the true history of the warrior Orion, the true and secret historic journal of the myth and legend. Throughout the ages, the Noir family kept watch for the sign and the warning that the legacy and prophecy had come to fruition and the new era had begun. A legacy and secret he helped to protect and keep absolute secret, a mystical and wondrous secret that the elder of his bloodline stoically watched over. It was his time. He knew his bloodline and his family had to bear the legacy. It was this generation that would guide in the new era. His son and his wife were blessed. The twins were born, and the legacy and prophecy had finally come true. 2 children that would someday take on and accept the immense responsibility. The twins just as prophesied, and the signs were up there in the night sky. He had sensed and seen the signs weeks ago, so he had mentally prepared. Soon, very soon, Orion's bloodline would be needed. Somewhere out there in the vastness of space was another galaxy. Somewhere out there, the other half of Orion's legend were born. Out there in the cosmos, the second half of the prophecy lay waiting. Another set of twins were born. Somewhere, unknown to the old man, but he knew they were out there. Wherever Orion saw his last days and years. And wherever those children were, he sensed that they probably had no clue of destiny and future. At least not yet. Everything was in place. 2 sets of twins. 4 hearts would beat as one. Soon, any day soon, they would be needed. Somewhere out there, an ancient evil was manifesting. A new era was dawning. Any time now, the children would be called upon. They were at the right age now to understand and accept their fate. But their burden was a heavy one. A burden of immense magnitude. Soon the children would leave on their mission. It was up to him, and it was his responsibility to tell them. His duty to inform and mold them. For he had to prepare them. For decades now the old man had contained his burden. This would not be easy. It never was. He sat there at the mystical stone circle, the forest nightlife as his company, as he looked up to the night sky. The old man and grandfather felt the sudden stirring as the moss-covered stones shimmered and glowed. It had begun.